In the Midst of Arms. Chapter 1. Oahu, Hawaii, August 1st, 1966. Mom's terror-filled scream woke 15-year-old Theonomus, Theo, Finnegan, and sent a chill through him. He bolted upright in bed. "Gospodi!" It sounded like Dad's voice, but what language was that? Mom screamed again. Theo flung off the sheets and dashed naked onto the second-floor balcony. In their underwear, 10-year-old twins, Billy and Chris, stood outside Theo's bedroom, shaking and holding on to each other. Theo put his head between theirs and whispered, "Fire drill, fetch Gus." Theo acquired his melodious Irish brogue from his immigrant mother. His brothers not so much. They wanted to fit in with the local Hawaii kids. They hesitated. "Billy, get Christopher out of here." They didn't move. He flailed his arms. "Be quick about it." Billy and Chris rushed back into their bedroom, where they would execute what they practiced every few months: climb out the window, clamber over the garage roof and down to the ground, and run across the street to Gus Hamilton's house. Theo ran along the balcony overlooking the living room and caught a glimpse of someone, illuminated by the street lamp, peeking in the front window, a kid with red hair. He stopped at Mom and Dad's open bedroom. A nightlight lit the room. Theo raised his fist to eye level. When he stepped into the room, a man confronted him within arm's length. Dad had taught Theo martial arts since he was 8. Last year he earned a brown belt in Kajukenbo, a mixed martial art. He used those skills on high school bullies. This was an adult, though, large adult. He was Theo's height, about 6 foot and 200 pounds. Theo quickly turned sideways and straightened his left arm and used a finger thrust to the man's face. The man moved his head, avoiding Theo's hand. Theo had already begun his whip kick and struck the man's knee and followed with an edge hand to his left collarbone. The man let out a pain-filled yelp. Theo moved forward and grasped the man's face with a tiger-claw grip and drove him backward, overbalanced him, and drove his head into the floor with a sickening thud. Theo took in the entire room at a glance. Mom was curled up on the bed, her chest heaving. In the corner, a second man behind Dad pressed a metal pipe across his throat. The man released the pressure, and Dad fell limp to the floor. The man was 6 feet and a well-put-together 180 pounds. Black hair cut in a flat top and a gap in his left eyebrow where a scar ran through it. He curled his lip in a snarl and growled at Theo. 2 years before, Theo barely topped 5'5", 140 pounds. Now he was 6'1", 180, and hadn't finished growing. He advanced. The man stepped over Dad and stumbled, awkwardly, swinging the pipe. Theo stepped away, and the pipe folded his ear as it sped by. Theo leg-kicked the man's outside right knee and followed with a powerful swinging elbow against his jaw, and he went down and out. Theo looked at Dad's unseeing eyes staring at the ceiling, his chest not moving. Mom moaned. Theo scrambled onto the bed and cradled her head in his left arm. She smelled of lavender. His tears dripped on her face. He wiped his wet eyes with his free hand. "Dad's grand, Mum," he said softly. "He's hurt, but he'll be grand, I promise." Mum's breathing shallow now, a struggle. She inhaled shallower. "When you and Dad are better, we'll all visit Sea Life Park, watch the orca leap out of the water, belly flop and soak the audience." His laugh wouldn't have fooled anyone. He combed his fingers through Mom's soft hair and lifted it from her face, tucked it behind her ear. Her pupils were enlarged. Her head fell back, and she exhaled into the crook of his arm. "Remember how you laughed, Mum, the time we got soaked?" Mum said, "Please." Minty, warm ghost of a breath on his arm. She inhaled and struggled to lift her head. He pulled her up and tilted her head and peered into those green eyes that consoled him each time he'd skinned a knee or fallen from a tree or off the roof. Those eyes flooded now. He'd never seen Mum cry. It broke his heart. Exhaling, she said, "Forgive," her voice failing. Mom fought for breath, a sound as if sucking the last soda drops through a straw. She exhaled, "Him," a gurgling sound. please forgive him? The attackers? Just like Mom to forgive her attacker. I'll be better, Mom. I'll not get in trouble in school anymore. Mom's forehead became smooth. He anticipated her next breath. He waited for her next breath. Her face smooth, wrinkles gone, younger than he'd ever remembered seeing her. He waited for her next breath. I'll not go away to Duke Seminary, Mom. I'll find one closer to home, closer to you. He waited for her next breath. He didn't know how long he gave her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, a god-awful weird feeling when a paramedic said, "'Nuff, brother, I'll take over." Lights, red, blue, red, blinked in the window. A siren blared. The room stank of urine and feces. The paramedic gave up, stepped away, and gathered his equipment. Theo closed his mom's eyelids. They popped half open. He tried again. They wouldn't stay closed. "Hey, brah, put some goddamn clothes on." "This one's gone," someone else said. "This one?" A third voice said, "Waheen, too." Jesus, I stepped on some teeth. Would someone get these kids out of the way? Kids? This guy's upper jaw's disconnected from his skull. Oh, brother, I never seen all that before. Get this one some pants, Jesus. Someone took his dad's sacramental vestment from the laundry basket and tossed it to him. When he put it on, he realized it was his own vestment. His father had given it to him for his 13th birthday. By kindergarten, Theo had become enthralled with his father's oratory in front of the congregation and planned to follow in his father's footsteps. "Here, boys," Mrs. Fernandez from next door gathered the twins to her. Her brothers trembled, their faces shocked pale, eyes wide and tearful, darting back and forth from Mom and Dad to him. He almost choked on the sob he squelched. He would not cry in front of these men. He'd take care of his brothers now. He'd not let anything happen to them. He knelt and took his brothers into his arms. They wrapped their thin arms around his neck, their racking sobs wetting his cheeks.